Hey everybody, Zero here, also known as Alex, FGC commentator, and here are my top 5 commentary moment picks. So, 2018 Evo. This is for Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. This pairing is very interesting. It's Ryan Hunter and MajinObama. Something that's really highlighted out of this moment is the story that Obama really tries to paint.
We're gonna get a repeat Guilty Gear champion here, and again, this is a run back.
Both these competitors being Evo winners, this grand finals, what's at stake here? We have this one window of opportunity to showcase maybe the entire year's worth of that competitor's arc. You can take any particular tournament match, give you the backstory of a player, and it really sells you on that moment. Somebody who maybe is just kind of interested in the game or maybe interested in the story, they really do get that understanding. Who to root for, who to root against. I think that's really important for somebody who is curious about a game.
These brothers crossed an ocean of water, across an ocean of sand, to touch down here in this stage in the center of this sin-glazed oasis.
The way that Obama presents that story is just an excellent way that anybody could just walk in and watch. Your mom and dad, or maybe they're sports adjacent, they have that buy-in based on that story because you are being sold an entire picture, whether it be growth, whether it be they're kind of stagnant maybe, and this is their big moment, right? You don't know if something amazing is going to happen, but the tone, the way it's set up, it prepares you for that exciting, you really get that energy out of it.
If you're still sleepy, check your pulse, man, because if you might be dead, you might already be dead. And we're just getting started. You gonna let us open up Evo 2018 Sunday this way?
I definitely like to watch sports broadcasting as an example of how to shape my own commentary. Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, and TJ Lang, they're a team of 3 broadcasters for the Detroit Lions, and I got to see them work in action, the flow, how they stepped aside for a bigger call.
Flips it on the hook and ladder, coming inside the 5 to the end zone. Jameer Gibbs, touchdown Detroit Lions.
There's a nice clip on Twitter that they had put up where it shows throughout the entirety of the game, make this really good call into when the Lions actually win that game, where the buildup leads to here, the pass, the intent of the pass for another player on the team. It was really spectacular, really encapsulate all of the mechanisms of a football play in a very small bite-sized moment.
Boots right, looks, being chased, Goff running, Goff to the 50, Goff to the 45, he slides for the first down. That is your ball game.
I think that's really something that we could learn from, aspire to in fighting game commentary, because there's so much that happens, especially in team games. For Dragon Ball fighters, it gets so frenetic, or even for Mortal Kombat 1, when you're calling in an assist, that's also another aspect that you have to really look at the layers and how quickly you can send that information to a viewer. So another moment here, look, Sajam and Tasty Steve have been together for so many years, and sure, you're probably expecting the Steve, my arm, that soundbite. Absolute perfection here. That's a spectacular moment, but that's not the one moment that really stands out the most for me. Back in 2018, Sajam and Tasty Steve went on this big tear for Street Fighter V. Both of these guys are so in sync at moments where they say the exact same phrase at the same time.
And the V reversal gets Tokido out. Flash kick! Throws another boom. Another one!
You could understand the importance of working together very well and having that rapport. Sajam really talked about how Steve will pull an audience in by quieting down. He gets really calm, talks about something important. It's a 180 from Steve's most excitable moments. So you're really brought in because why is he so quiet? What's he got to say?
That corner still in control by Tokido.
So throughout my entire block with Steve, you could hear the nervousness in my voice. But eventually throughout the block, I could hear that moment of Steve getting quiet, bringing me in, and even I feel like there was one moment where he really leaned into me. So, hey, this next interaction, you're gonna want to look out for Potemkin doing this, 6'8", pop buster, RC, whatever the moment was at that time. And that's when I knew how to either transition, give Steve his moment to pull back from that and say, oh my gosh, that's the thing that you talked about. He's really set the tone for me of understanding the multiple types of commentators I would work with and how to understand that back and forth. It's not like one person's on a mic and then another. It is that forever like tag team moment here throughout that block that you're working together. And Sajam and Tasty Steve really represent that, especially during that 2018 era. This commentator, they really wore their heart on their sleeve. That's none other than Seth Killian. Seth Killian, 2015 EVO Grand Finals. It's Ultra Street Fighter 4. Not only does he really set up like a story throughout this top 8, he's alongside James Chen here. And these two have had moments where they've cried before on the mic. There's been so many times where Seth really has this touching moment at the end. But for 2015, it would have been the last time that Seth Killian was on the mic for an EVO. He went on to thank everybody in not only just watching at home, but in the crowd, to be thankful for the moment that he was in, to share it with James. And by the end of it, James starts crying, which I was almost on the verge of tears crying myself for that moment.
It's like almost a joke now, but you
feel
know,
like
it's so hard not
James,
to get emotional.
We should have like instead of a staring contest, we can have a crying contest. We'll just talk about Evo until one of us cries.
It was something really special because he shared that love, and I think that's something I like to carry on as well in my commentary. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone else, everyone behind the scenes putting in work, and we certainly wouldn't be here without the attendees that appeared. I hope he knows what he really sparked in a lot of my generation for the fighting game community, not even just fighting games, but also commentators across the globe. But man, that moment here really just 2015 EVO, that's a lasting memory.
Bring it in, James. I love you, man.
I love you.
We'll see you next year.
Oh man, you know, 2018 is a crazy year. We are starting off with Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is an insane amalgamation of like multiple scenes. We're talking Street Fighter players, Smash players, Guilty Gear players, NRS players. Everybody from any walk of life was playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. And Dragon Ball notoriously has the most insane storylines and also has one of the greatest gods of fighting games, Goichi, right? Just somebody who could not be opened up on defense whatsoever. But it also had Leffen. At this point in time, Leffen had an amazing run, but one more god stood in his way, and it was Goichi. We're down to Goichi's last character, a Bardock, and Yipes and Hell Pockets are screaming their heads off, and rightfully so.
Do not test her, that jump him.
Oh, he held up in time? Are you serious? You reacted to that?
Oh my God, Goichi playing out of his mind right now.
This moment here is Leffen doing everything he can to try and open up Goichi. We're talking a player who got their own character nerfed because he couldn't be opened up in his game. Like, that is how good this player is defensively. And Leffen throwing out this insane offense with a final touch character and trying to open up Goichi. Dragon Rush tech after Dragon Rush tech, tight moments here where some stray hits happen and Leffen's just on the cusp of victory, but so is Goichi. One character goes down on the side of Leffen, another character, and then we get down to the last one, and the screaming that Yipes was putting on here, Hell Pockets trying to put together just some sort of sentence, but these two were basically the entirety of all of our reactions.
Yes!
Hold up. Oh my God.
How does he
Hold
do
on,
that?
hey,
How does he do that?
Oh, he's still chasing.
Yes!
He's trying to tell that.
Finally, Goichi finds that stray hit and finishes against Leffen. Leffen just exhausts a final breath. You talk about moments in a tournament, and that wasn't even a top 8 moment. This was just to qualify to at least get to top 24. And the stories would just keep changing around Dragon Ball FighterZ here, but that really set the tone. That was really like a moment where all communities came together. They knew something was amazing. Even the guy in the final frame, as Goichi is just popping off, just flabbergasted. The look on his face, that was everyone's face, I feel like, at that moment in time. People were screaming, losing their minds, and I don't know if anyone's gonna ever forget that moment, because that is probably one of the best fighting game moments of all time. It's one of the best commentary moments of all time because that energy was there, not only on the caster side, but also the viewer.
Yo, can I get water?